folks. So just before, I'm actually recording this the other way around, actually. So I'm recording this after I've spoken to Will Roberts from the Spine. So this will be before that section. So just like a short interview with Will, just catching up about the summer Spine races and who he thinks is going to be people to watch and everything, and having a general chat about the Spine. But before that, just want to sort of give you guys a heads up to um, the documentary that I've finished editing finally. It's only taken, well, actually, it's not taken me too long. It's only taken like over a week to do. So if you follow me on social media, you'll realize that I went up to Edinburgh to interview Jasmin Paris. So we had a chat during a run. So this idea that I've got of doing a documentary series basically called Home Trails. So it's kind of like shot on two locations. So the idea is that there's a sit down interview, which is the home part, and then there's the trails part, which is the local trails that she uses to train on. So we had a chat while I was filming with a GoPro, so that was quite tricky. It was really windy, so hopefully the audio has come out okay. And then there's a sit down chat with her in person where she works just round the corner for like the home section. And just like a really relaxed conversation about Barkley marathons and life in general, and the media attention that she's got from being, that amazing history, making history at Barclays this year. So it's now Thursday, the 13th. So tomorrow, Friday the 14th, is at 7 p.m. is when I'm going to release it onto YouTube. So it'll be 7 p.m. tomorrow night. So Friday night, 7 p.m. I'm going to put it on there. So it's already on there as an unlisted video, and I've sent it out to a few people just to sort of preview. Um, if you're listening to this and it's still Thursday or it's Friday morning and you desperately want to watch it, send me a message on something on socials and I'll send you a link so that you can watch it before everybody else watches it. So that's a bit of a sneak peek for you guys that are regular listeners to the podcast. If that's what you want to do, if you want to watch it first, I'll send you a link and you can watch it as an unlisted video before it gets listed Friday night, if you've got time, Friday. Okay, so yeah, that's my little advert for Home Trails. So that's episode one, and I've got a few other people lined up to do further episodes. So that it'll be the similar sort of setup, a trail run on the local trails, and then a sit down, whether it's at home for them or somewhere close by. We have a sit down chat and in-depth conversation. And I'm hoping that this sort of turns into a bit of I want it to turn into a documentary series. So a few episodes, try and get as many of the UK runners that I can get. So if you've got any suggestions on people that you really want to hear from on that would be suited to that sort of format, let me know. Okay, so on with the episode and the interview with Will Roberts.
Yeah.
Yes, we are recording halfway through a conversation, so I thought it was probably best that we start the recording. So welcome back, returning visitor, returning guest, Will Roberts of the Spine Race. Yes, the Spine Media team. Yeah. Yeah. What is your official role?
Yeah. How long have we got? Like, how long do you want this episode to be? Um, yeah. I'm technically on paper, it's written as something like race media manager usually, but if it goes out on social media, I've probably had something to do with it during the event. I think my chief responsibility during the race is staring at the tracking system, just like all the other dot watches, and staying awake for about 22 hours a day, no matter how many times people tell me I need to get some sleep. That's my job as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, yes. I think at some point I have told you to go to sleep as well. I think anyone connected with the race has tried to get you to sleep, but I think you have the Jack Scott approach to the Spine race, don't you?
Just go all in. Just go entirely all in. And yeah, yeah.
54
Hope
minutes.
the training
54
pays off.
Do you reckon you can get 54 minutes sleep during spine week? It's probably be about what you get in sleep as well, isn't it?
Yeah, if I've had a solid 54 minutes sleep by the time we get to Sunday night on the first weekend, then I've done well. Uh, I really have. Um, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I always am. I'm spinning plates, and you've got me here on the night before I actually go over to Edale. What you can't see behind my MacBook here is the array of cameras, batteries, cables, like yeah, sleeping bags, and all sorts of stuff just scattered across my attic. Yeah, yeah,
Calm,
but
there's
it's going to be good fun.
calm before the storm. Yeah,
Yeah.
chaos before the storm. So yeah. So quite rightly, you mentioned that we are officially. When's the first race? First race is Saturday 8 o'clock. Is it? Is that Challenger South?
Yep. 8 a.m. on Saturday with the MRT Challenge South going out half an hour later.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
so we are now recording. We were recording earlier in the week, but now due to scheduling issues, it's normally me that has scheduling issues. It's nice to know that somebody else has scheduling issues. So we are here Thursday night, and I'm gonna do my best to get this out tonight so everyone can hear this sort of not in real time, but close enough to real time, so they've got time to sort of digest and think about the race before Friday, before it actually kicks off. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
Your first sprint challenge of the weekend. And I'll just try and do everything in less than the sort of 10 takes it usually takes me when I'm on camera during the spine race. We'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah, as everybody knows, my podcast isn't edited in any way. Um, so yeah, just putting the spine to one side for a second. Then you've been a busy man in media recently, haven't you? Where have you been? Um, where haven't I been? Woof. Where?
I guess the most recent trip for me was Zagama. I've been out in the Basque Country, up in the mountains at Zagama, which was incredible and very different. We talk about the size of the community on the spine race, but by the very nature of the thing, quite often that's a few people, spread out in a lay-by somewhere in the Peak District, or a kindly soul handing out flapjacks in a village in the middle of nowhere at 3 o'clock in the morning. This was 10,000 people on a mountainside cheering every runner through as they came through. Something like 30,000 people all across the course. It's somewhere between a trail race and a music festival. Yeah, absolutely amazing.
Is it similar sort of vibe to I see? I mean, I haven't been to UTMB yet, going this year. Is that sort of party sort of atmosphere? I remember seeing like, yeah, UTMB. It was like the live footage of Courtney going through and everybody just like going absolutely crazy. And Zagama's like that on steroids, isn't it?
Oh god, yeah, absolutely. Live feed from every angle. Runners carrying live streaming cameras all over the place, drones over the top the entire time, like cowbells. So many cowbells. I spent half an hour at one point lying on my back in the mud, getting trampled by people as all the runners came through, and my ears were ringing for about the next 24 hours. And I'm not complaining. It was great. It was like a party.
Yeah. So is that the first sort of international race that you've been out to? No, you've been all over the place, haven't you? Doing media stuff. You're literally a well-traveled man, aren't you? So, but first time at that race anyway.
Yeah, well, first time in the Basque Country, and I'll definitely go there again. But I think the big difference was it was the first time I've ever been and covered something that you'd call a trail race or a sky running event, rather than what I'm used to, which is long, slow moving, multi-day events that grind people down. This was more of a punch in the face,
Yeah.
a swift punch in the face.
Brilliant. Yeah, we know all about that in trail running. Punches in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's your sort of schedule then over the next few days? When does the chaos officially begin? I know obviously you've got the chaos of getting all your gear together now and stuff, but when are you heading up there tomorrow?
Yeah. I'll be I've got one more sleep here and then I'll be heading over tomorrow morning. few people to interview tomorrow afternoon before everything gets chaotic, and a couple of sort of pre-race videos that we're going to put out, just like we always do, and then madness from Saturday morning onwards as soon as the alarm goes off, really. And
What's
then yeah, it's
different?
non-stop.
Anything different this year with media?
Yeah, well, I've got I've got spies, basically. So Dean Reed, who you will probably know if you're listening to this, you may well have seen him on his YouTube channel. He's also one of the logistical managers of the whole spine race. He's going to be carrying a camera for us and just telling a bit of the behind the scenes story for us, chatting to volunteers, runners who've been back time and time again, trying to get out some of the stories that I always know are there, but just don't quite have time to
Yeah.
stretch to while I'm covering the actual specifics of the race itself. So he's going to be in there doing that, and I think he's going to have a great time. We've also got Raj Mahapatra, who is doing the full spine. Oh, this is at least two. It might be his third. They'll kill me for not knowing that off the top of my head, but he's back in there anyway, and he's going to be showing us the inside of the race from the runner's perspective. Um, I mean, he's told me he fully expects to be sort of towards the back of the pack, making the absolute most of it, getting full value. So he'll have little updates for us, giving us a view into the runner's experience all the way through the race. And I'm really looking forward to that. That's sort of two flavors of spine coverage we've always wanted to get out, but we've never quite been able to stretch to before. So that should be fun.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, the usual mix. Obviously, the daily update videos with that theme tune playing all the way up and down the
Can
spine
hear it.
race.
Hear it
Yeah,
already.
I can hear it already. And I'll be hearing it for weeks. And yeah, my the photography team scattered out in the hills, jumping out from behind bushes and getting photos of people all day and night. So
Yeah.
yeah, business as usual with a
Yeah.
few extras.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting. That does. I like the fact that that's because you've always sort of there's only so many people you can have on a team, in there? So having that extra bandwidth of people telling the behind the scenes stories is, and that's why I mean, everyone loves following the race. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Everyone loves seeing like the who's at the front and everything, but that yeah, they are the stories. That's the sort of thing that I kind of love about the spine as well is knowing all the stories. You know, because I've been there, done that. I know all the stories that you could tell that no one's got time to tell, and there are amazing stories of people in the middle, at the back. So yeah, I think
Absolutely. I mean, we all talk about the spine family and the spine bubble, and both of those things absolutely apply. Like, I don't go back to the spine race over and over again because I love being sleep deprived. I go back to the spine race over and over again because I love everyone who's there over and over again. It's just a really supportive group of people. It's incredible watching. There's just so many volunteers, so many team members, so many safety team members, all moving around the entire time, all pulling in one direction. And it's just great to be a part of. And there's only so much space in the day for us to get updates out about the races. And now we've got like 6 concurrent races across the first few days. It gets tough to show anybody that spine family that we all talk about. To so yeah, we're gonna try and lean into that this time around, and there'll certainly be more of that coming as the week goes on and things quieten down a bit, because obviously that first weekend is bonkers.
chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. That sounds good. So let's move on to hot picks then for the races. So yeah, I've heard you've been doing your homework, or you've got somebody to do some homework for you about who's who in the races.
Yeah, it's a bit of a team effort. I guess with the summer spine, there's this kind of idea that we it's maybe not a stronger field. You haven't quite got the lineup that we had in winter. But actually, when you start digging into the names and stuff, there's some absolutely brilliant runners coming up. But they're pretty open races. Across the board, it's sort of could go in any given direction. I would never call anybody a dead cert. There's no point in doing that in the spine race. There are too many variables, but there's a few names that jumped out at me immediately. I mean, if you're looking at the big race, we've got John Shield coming in. So 20 oh, this is going to kill me. 2023 Winter Sprint, I think, was his win,
Yeah.
and he had the course record there. He also won the Challenger South last summer,
Yeah.
and he's jumping up to the full distance this time around. And having sort of briefly had a bit of contact with him, I know John's had a few niggles over the course of the last year, and he feels like he's coming into this one injury free. So we know what John Shields like. He's very fast, very strong, very, very determined.
Yeah.
So I mean, unless something gets in his way, unless some random injury comes up or something along those lines, it's hard to imagine him not being somewhere up there. Um,
It's,
yeah,
it,
and
it's
then
with John. I'm just like I've been looking at the weather and thinking, I hope it's not how it was last summer, which was like the perfect storm of rain and then it warming up and feet, which, I still have nightmares about my feet, from 40 miles in of Challenger North. And I know John's like struggled with his feet before, so I really feel for him, and I hope that, everyone's willing him on because we know what he's capable of.
oh
But
yeah.
that's my only sort of concern for him is that his feet. If you're listening to this, John, I don't mean any malice by it. I just hope your feet are going to be all right.
Yeah, I imagine it's crossed his mind as well. But yes, we'll be praying for your feet, John. We absolutely will, and for everyone else's. 'Cause you're quite right. It is looking like we're going to have eh, maybe less mixed weather. In that currently the long range forecasts are telling us it's probably going to be more likely to be rainy and cloudy than sunny.
Mm,
But we certainly are going to have that sort of warm, humid conditions with downpours here and there that
mm,
absolutely mangled people's feet last time around. So
that's true.
yeah,
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 well, should give me shudders just thinking about it. Don't want
yeah.
to think about
um,
it. Who else?
Irene Kinnigan. So Dutch runner, Winter Spine Challenger North 2023. I think she was the first woman over the line there. And yeah, she's back in the full race as well. So could be a great week for her. Um, Louise Goddard, who's a sort of
Yes, Louise.
well-known
Yeah,
volunteer as
yeah.
well as a regular runner. She's back in as well. And you got to think earlier this year, January, she did the Challenger North and hit the podium there as well. So, it's step up, warmer conditions. Could be a great week for her too.
Mm,
And then I can't not mention Mark Potts, who's just one of the loveliest guys you could ever hope to meet, and also sort of very quietly an outstanding runner. Like he's already been on the Summer Spine podium twice, but at least twice. Okay, at least twice. Let's go with that.
mm,
Um, and he's back in again. So got to think he's
yeah.
likely to, if anyone's going to trouble John Shield up at the front, I feel like Mark Potts will be up there.
Mm,
And I'm excited too because we've got Mike Stevenson back in, and he's somebody else who's done the full spine before, but also been a regular volunteer. Like he's already part of the spine family, and also the world record holder for solo crossing of Lake Baikal. So a little warmer than he's used to, but certainly used to multiple days of
mm,
hard racing. So you never know. Maybe not as fast, but we've all seen how the spine can work out.
mm,
Sometimes the quick runners blow up along the way, and
yeah.
then your tactical runners who are just strong throughout and play a really good admin game,
Mm.
it's open to them then. So who knows?
The Ian
Yeah,
Keith,
they
Ian Keiths of the world.
absolutely, yeah, the 10-year anniversary event. Yeah, incredible.
Yeah, awesome. So my pick for someone to watch was Ali Bailey coming into
Yes.
Challenger South. So I know she's no stranger to a tough 100 milers, and I think she won Wild Horse 200, didn't she? Um, did really well in that. She's well, the only thing I worry about with Ali, and I've been winding her up about this like this week on socials, is that she might be a bit tired from all of the book tour that she's been doing recently.
Yeah, yeah. Well, all that fame. Yeah. But no, I'm looking forward to that. I haven't actually met Ali, so yeah, I'm looking forward to running into her along the way. I guess, yeah, maybe her mind's been out of focusing on the spine race for a while because of the book tour, but I don't think you can enter the spine race and not have it in your mind. It's the
Yeah,
kind of thing that
he took
haunts
it.
your dreams.
He's definitely took the training seriously. I've seen posting stuff,
Oh, I
running,
fully imagine so, yeah.
running on
Um,
course and everything. So
and you got Mel Sykes in there as well, who's just
yes,
a hugely popular character as well, but also, Summer South last year.
yeah.
First woman over the line there as well. So, you know,
She really is coming back to running, isn't she?
yes, now
She,
she really is. Mel
she
obviously had some sort of
yeah.
big health issues over the last year, so it's going to be, yeah, when she crosses the line in hard draw, hopefully she'll accept a big hug from me because
Mm,
I'll be really happy to see that.
mhm. Yeah, amazing. Yeah. What about so in the sprint there's Run DMC, Debbie Martin Consani.
Run DMC, yeah, yeah. Like you, taking some time off from media team duties. But yeah, I'm going to be chatting to her tomorrow. So yeah, we'll definitely see some of Run DMC on camera, and yeah, she's going to be there for the sprint.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so you've got to think Debbie's going to do pretty well there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, you got Rob Trigwell in that race, who might not be a name that jumps out at you straight away, but the Baikal record that I mentioned for Mike Stevenson earlier, uh, this is who had it before him. So, another extremely tough person in there. Again, don't know how they'll fare in a fast race, but we're about to find out. Second in the Lakeland 50, I think. So, you know, every reason to think they're going to do all right. And while we're talking about the sprint, you've got Rupert Allison as well, who is the current course record holder of the winter sprint. He's doing the Challenger South this time around. So
Yeah.
I'd keep an eye on him. I remember seeing him at the end of the sprint having, you know, taken the course record and done incredibly well there. And it was like he'd done a park run. He was fine, like irritatingly fine. I was more tired.
Yeah.
So you know, I'll have my eye on him as well.
Mm. Amazing. Yeah. So it's set to be a good week. It'll be a long week, won't it, for you, as always? But it'll be
Yeah.
be an exciting week of racing. What's on the plan for you as far as the last time we spoke, there was talk of you sort of training getting back into training for doing an ultra again. What's happened with that? You've been too busy, or are you?
People love asking me about this. Yeah. I've been talking about getting back into it ever since my last race in about 2018, whenever it was. Yeah, we'll see. I've been doing a little bit of. I've gone off Strava, so no one can see what I'm doing.
Ooh,
I don't.
dark.
I don't like the public eye.
Mm.
But yeah, I've been working in that direction a little bit more recently, and have kind of resolved to play my cards slightly closer to my chest because I must have promised a good dozen people over the last 3 years that I'm definitely going to sign up for something or other. And then, yeah, when I am at a race, I'm always behind a camera instead of on a start line. So, yeah, we'll see, mate. We'll see. The, the spine is. I'm about to do it again after just saying I'm sick of committing to stuff when people ask me about it. There is there's a feeling of inevitability about the spine race that I've been too involved for too long not to want to see what it's like on the other side of it. And it was a big thing of my dad's. My dad really wanted to do the Pennine Way. Just over here, I've got a couple of guidebooks on the Pennine Way that he had, and I've got them on a shelf just across from me. And his health failed sadly before he ever had a chance to do it.
Mm.
So it's long been in my head that I'm going to have to do it at some point. And now I've been a part of the spine race for as long as I have. How am I going to do it not under race conditions?
Mhm. Yeah, that is true.
So it's going to have to happen at some point, but that's a monstrous return to training. Yeah, we'll
Well,
get there.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, there you go, audience. I was going to say you heard it here first, but you heard it here second because it's the second time that I've asked you that question.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is true, but yeah, at the end of the day, I might have, sometimes there's been a beer or two involved, and I've promised people that I'm going to do this or that over the last few years. But the one that's really going to motivate me in the end is I said I'd do it for my dad.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
since he's not around to do it anymore, I'm going to have to one day.
yeah, that's it. And that will be all the motivation you need for training as well, won't it?
Yeah, yeah, it absolutely will.
Yeah.
It's like it's like I know one day I'm going to read the whole Lord of the Rings trilogy, or one day I know I'm finally going to start really listening to the Beatles. But both of them, are just going to take up a good year of your life, and you're not going
Yeah.
to do anything but that while you're doing it. It's got that kind of feeling about it. There's going to come a point where I'm finally ready to just commit my life to being ready for the spine race, and yeah, you'll be there, no doubt.
Yes, I'll be there. I'll be there filming you.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I'm going to be. That is my plan. So if you'll have me back for media next winter, this winter, I don't know. When I look outside, it feels like winter anyway. So the
yeah.
next January 2025, I'll be forcing my limited abilities on you.
Oh, I don't think you're going to have to press too hard, pal. I really don't. You'll be welcome. It was a pleasure working with you when we had the chance, and
Yeah.
you'd have been around a bit more if you hadn't decided to take this time off to run yourself. I
And
mean, how inconsiderate is that?
yeah, well, it's like we said before recording. It's only the sprint, so you know.
Only the sprint.
In terms of the spine race, just say it is only to the first checkpoint, but it's in any other race, it's like a really tough 40, 44, 45, 46, 47 miles, whatever it is. Yeah, it's not to be taken lightly, and I'm not taking it lightly. But all I need to do is I need to sort of got my demons to put away from the last time I did it, which was when was the inaugural one? Was that 2021?
Oof, now
First
you're asking.
first summer sprint. I'm sure it was 21.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
summer of 21. Things were just starting to open up again after COVID, and
Yeah.
I messed up my hydration and ran out of water. Missed the water stop at Torside, and became extremely dehydrated. Got to the burger van on the road, and she'd been wiped out of water because everybody, it was like unusually warm. It wasn't particularly sunny, but it was just really warm and humid, and she got wiped
Yeah.
out of water. All she got left was dandelion and burdock. So I had 2 cans of dandelion and burdock. Obviously, great idea mid race. 2 cans of dandelion and burdock, a couple of miles later, I spewed it up, and then got to the water stop. Is it the one where there's a triathlon team? I think it is triathlon club that put water out. Don't know. I can't remember where it is.
Yeah, it's
Car Park.
Cowling.
Yeah, Cowlin. And I had a load of water, chugged a load of water, and thought, oh, I'll be fine now, and I wasn't. So basically, I had like from mile 30, I think it was, all the way to the end, just spewing up. Couldn't hold anything down. So as
Oh,
long
mate.
as I get through it without throwing up this year, then I'll take that as a great success.
Yeah, wow. I'll have my fingers crossed for you.
Yeah.
And yeah, I remember the year you mean. All the rivers and streams and stuff were dry up there as well.
Yeah,
There
there's
just
nothing.
hadn't been much rain on the run into it at all. So few people struggled with that year. Yeah.
But what will be will be. Yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah. And I'll
Awesome.
be there in Hebden Bridge waiting for you, likely.
Oh, will
So
you?
yeah,
You're gonna
I
be
look
there.
forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully I'll see you there, not spewing and dehydrated.
Yeah, fingers crossed. If you are, I will be taking that photo.
That's fine.
Just know that right now.
That's
Possibly filming on my phone as well.
no problem. Right, I won't keep you any longer, mate. I know you're a busy man and you've got a lot to do, so I'll
Yeah.
we'll end it here, and I look forward to seeing you in Hebden Bridge without puke all down my face.
I look forward to that too, pal. I'm sure it's going to go fine. Yeah, and thanks. I really appreciate this. I'm the chief dot watcher. Really, I'm usually behind a MacBook, or people see my face when I talk into a camera. It's nice to just be out here chatting about it because at
Talking.
the end of the day, I love this race.
Yeah, yeah, don't we all? Absolutely. Cheers, mate. Thanks for coming on.
No worries. Thank you, buddy. Have a good evening. I'll see you in Hebden.
Bye bye. Bye, everyone.